Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents Scents. Hope that you're doing well. So a little while back, I did a video of fragrances that you need to be on the lookout for this January on FragranceNet. And in that video, I said that there were a lot of things that got cut from it, like deals that I thought were really good, but just didn't quite make that video. And I'm going over those here today with you. So I've got 10 more fragrances that you should be buying this January from FragranceNet. Let's jump into it. Let's check these out. Now this video is not sponsored. Basically what I did is I just went through FragranceNet page after page after page. I think it was like 125 pages before I got to the end and decided that I had had enough. But I was looking for different deals, things that jumped out at me, interesting fragrances, whether because they're hard to find or it was just really a good deal. And I'm going to be sharing those with you here today, and I do have them linked down below in case you want to check them out. So I'm going to try to run through this pretty quickly, but I have a habit of just talking too much. So here we go. Okay, first thing that I think that you should be on the lookout for that you might want to check out is the Aqua Colonia line. More specifically, I looked up the Sunny Seaside of Zanzibar, which is quite a name. You can get a 50 ml bottle of that for $16.19. Now that is if you use the 40% off coupon code, which they currently have in effect. So if you go and look on the website, the price might be different than $16.19, might be a little bit more. That means that you don't have the 40% off code. But yeah, 4711 has a lot of very good fragrances for spring and summertime especially. They don't have great performance typically, which is what you expect from the brand, but they're very affordable, under 20 bucks. You can grab a whole bunch of those, have a lot of different fragrances for different times, different occasions, or you could just zone in on the ones that are more to your taste as far as the note breakdown goes, which is typically pretty simple on these. So yeah, it's not just the Sunny Seaside of Zanzibar, it's a whole mess of 4711s that you can get for right around 16 bucks. Then we've got one from Montale. It is Oudrising, and you can get a 50 ml of this for under $50. More specifically, $47.39. By comparison, Fragrance Buy does have this fragrance, but not in a 50 ml size. They have the 100 ml size, and over there it's $80 and some change. So obviously you're going to get a better price per milliliter if you go with the 100 ml, but most people are not going to go through a full 100 ml size bottle of any Montale fragrance unless they only have a couple of them or they wear it all the time. So for me, the 50 ml at 47 bucks is going to be overall the better deal for more people. Oudrising is a generally well-liked Montale fragrance. It's one of the ones that's more highly received, you could say, because some Montale fragrances are a little bit divisive or a lot divisive depending on which one we're talking about, but this one isn't. That being said, like most Montale fragrances, packs a pretty good punch, good projection, good longevity. It's got vanilla, has tobacco, oud, leather, so yeah, you kind of know what you're in for. The next thing that I think you should be taking a look at is actually a brand, and it's Hermetica. They have a number of different fragrances from Hermetica, the 50 ml size bottle, once again, so smaller size, but they have a bunch of different ones for about $53. So this is another easy way to add some niche fragrances to your collection without breaking the bank. Now, I myself am not a huge fan of the Hermetica bottle style, and they just kind of all blend together for me. In general, I'm not a fan of houses that are like the exact same look across like a dozen fragrances, but you know, that's just a really minor pet peeve of mine. It's not really a big deal. This is worth checking out though, because it's across a number of different fragrances from Hermetica, and it's not just like their worst selling fragrance or something. So definitely check that out. Check out which ones that they have available, you know, look at the reviews on it, the notes, and see what might work for you. Next up, a niche fragrance that I do like a lot, both the presentation and the fragrance itself, and this time it's a 100 ml size bottle, not a 50 ml size bottle. It's from Olfactive Studio, and it is Still Life. So this one you can get for $89.39, so just under $90, which is a great price point for this fragrance, because at that price point, you're talking about less than most all designer fragrances coming out nowadays, at least at their retail price points. Still Life, a very good summertime fragrance. It's refreshing, but it has this heft to it. It's not just, you know, a little tinkly kind of fresh scent. it has some body to it. So we've gone with some niche fragrances. Let's get back to some designers. This time one from Ralph Lauren, and it's a fragrance that typically does not hit discount websites. So while the price is not discounted heavily, at least it's a discount. The fragrance is Purple Label. Typically this would go for $125 for the 4.2 ounce size bottle, but now at FragranceNet it's $112.79. So yeah, not a huge mark off, but if you've been thinking about picking Purple Label up, you can get it for $12 and some change less than you would typically have to pay. And Purple Label is really well known for smelling similar to Bond No. 9's Bleecker Street, which is probably my favorite Bond No. 9 of all time. Do I think personally that Purple Label smells like Bleecker Street, or do I think it's overblown? Yeah, it smells like Bleecker Street. It's a great one for spring. You can use it during summer and fall as well. Just a really, really good scent from Ralph Lauren. Unfortunately, just never really available in any kind of wide supply outside of just going and buying it at retail. You know, it's not one that's always at discounters. It's almost never at discounters. Let's get back to another very inexpensive fragrance. This one is from Issey Miyake. It's going to run you $29.99 for a 4.2 ounce size bottle, and it is Shades of Colognes. Assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, this is cheaper than you're going to find at Fragrance Buy right now by about $10. At Fragrance Buy, the same size bottle is $39. So it's not a fragrance that's typically super expensive or anything like that. It's just, hey, if you can save 10 bucks, save 10 bucks essentially. And while I would argue that Issey Miyake typically nowadays has better cool weather fragrances, you know, winter and fall fragrances than spring and summer, this is still a very serviceable scent for when it gets hotter outside. Essentially with the fragrance, you're getting citrus and a decent amount of it, green tea and cashmere, and that's the main thing holding this fragrance together. Like I said, it's not maybe something that's gonna absolutely blow you away, but it is something that smells very nice and fresh. Let's follow that up with L'Envol de Cartier, the Eau de Parfum, this one in the 2.7 ounce bottle. It's $69.59. With this fragrance, as I said, the atomizer is built in. It's just a little twist. So you give it a twist, it goes up, and then you give it a twist, it goes down, and you spray the bottle. So $69.59 may not sound super cheap on this one, but it is for that size. Joma Shop has this fragrance for $65, so $4 less, but it's the 50 ml size bottle, the 1.6 fluid ounce size. So you're getting an extra ounce of fragrance for $4. The next one I think you need to be aware of is Salvador Dali Pour Homme. Now, to be fair, FragranceNet I don't think has the cheapest price on this right now. The price that they have is completely fine. It's $39.59 for a 100 ml size bottle. The reason you need to know about this one is because Salvador Dali Pour Homme is discontinued. And it's been hard to find. All of a sudden, it's kind of flooded back onto the market, kind of like what happened with Ultra Red from Paco Rabanne, or at least that's how it feels to me right now. Who knows, maybe stock dries up on this and the price shoots up through the roof again, but it has been difficult to find Salvador Dali Pour Homme for a while. The price had gone up on eBay. It was getting quite expensive. It wasn't available at any discounters, which was a bummer because for a long time you could find this fragrance pretty easily at discounters. If you're unaware of Salvador Dali Pour Homme, you don't know what it is or whether you like it or not. It's a fragrance that came out in the late 80s, 1987, so maybe not technically late, but it's got anise, clary sage, lavender, oak moss, patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver. It's definitely, you know, a throwback to that style of 80s masculine scents. It's a great fougere, and the price that it's at right now absolutely warrants a pickup if you like fragrances of that style. The next fragrance is from the house Nazareno Gabrielli. Most of you out there probably hear that and go, I got no clue what that is, man. And the name of the fragrance is I'm Not a Good Boy, which is a terrible, terrible name. It is very inexpensive though, $21.59 for a 100 ml size bottle. It is a clone of Dior Sauvage. Now with this fragrance, you're not getting much as far as the presentation. It's very simple, it's bare bones, it doesn't look particularly great, but it smells very nice for the price point. And if you're looking for a cheap Sauvage cologne, that's one of the better ones out there. It used to be available at Fragrance Buy, I think for a little bit less, but it's been sold out there for a minute. So if you want that right now, FragranceNet is the place to go. Last fragrances that I want to talk to you about are from Molton Brown, and they are their Eau de Parfum collection fragrances. These retail for $160 each, and you can find them on FragranceNet for about $98.99, so 99 bucks. So you're saving there, just barely over $60, which is a pretty good savings. It is a whole line, so I'm not going to go over each one of those, but if you look into them, a lot of them are very highly regarded. And there's something a little bit off the beaten path that maybe most people wouldn't be looking for or be aware that they have there at FragranceNet. And then also just something kind of goofy that I found on there that maybe would appeal to some of you. They have Snoopy from Peanuts Holland bottles, like limited edition Snoopy Holland bottles, like the Netherlands. They are 1 ounce, so small bottles, but they're only $3.59. I can't imagine that the fragrance would smell all that great or anything, but if you yourself are a collector of Peanuts things, or you know somebody that is, maybe they'd like it. I know that Peanuts has a lot of people out there that collect this stuff, so there we go, 10 more fragrances that you should be buying or checking out from FragranceNet this January. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I will see you again another day with another video. See you later.